Hi everyone and welcome back to Gray's Gardening. Today I'm going to be showing you exactly what I'm going to be sowing. These are seeds that you need to sow in January. We're frantically running out of time and there's certain seeds, certain crops, certain fruit and vegetables that really do need a longer germination time so that you end up getting the best crops, the best fruit and veg into the summer months. So I'll be showing you exactly what they are going to be sowed today. I'm going to show you how I'm going to be sowing them. Again, just the simple techniques that I use. But first off, I just want to show you exactly what equipment you need. There's not much here at all really, but it shows you what you need to get prepared. And then we'll go straight through what I'm sowing and exactly how to do it. So first off, we need our seed and cutting compost. Always really important. It's peat free. We've got to do our best for the environment. I've gone for the Levington mix, and this is great for root development and for seedlings. It's unique peat free technology and encourages root growth. It's perfect for sowing these seeds, striking cuttings, and delicate seedlings. Traditional mix of loam, grit, and fertilizer from John Innes, or is it Innes? Never quite know. Been made in the UK, that's all good. The reason why you use seed compost and not normal compost is simply because this stuff doesn't actually contain much nutrients. Once those seeds germinate, then basically they need to be grown as strong and healthy as possible, but not feeling like they can just stay within this compost. Because if this is full of nutrients, that plant will stay small, it'll stay in that pot, and it won't be making really strong roots. So that's the reason you use this. Plus, it's normally quite gritty, drains well, and that seed will get waterlogged and become soggy and probably die. So always get some proper seed compost. These trays next to me, as you can probably see, these are designed perfectly for growing, so starting off your seeds. I bought these in Aldi last year. They were about £2 each. And the best thing about them, once we fill these little compartments up with the compost, as you can see, they drain well, but inside there does capture the water, so it can almost sit in a little reservoir, making sure that just the bottom stays wet and they don't dry out. But the best bit is each one of them comes with its own cover. It makes it almost like a perfect little greenhouse. So if I just move that around, you can see that'll keep it nice and humid in there, nice and moist inside. Won't let them dry out too quickly, but it does help them stay nice and warm, nice and moist inside, and also can't be attacked by any little flies or anything that may want to eat them, which you never know. It could well do. So I've got two of them. We've got our compost. Next thing is really, really important. You need some markers. These are going to go in each one of those compartments just to show me exactly what I've grown. Because believe you me, you will forget. You may think that one is always going to be our cucumbers or tomatoes or whatever they are, but you will forget. So get yourself a nice marker pen. Sharpie is always good because it lets you write on those plant labels really well. It doesn't fade. And it's always been really ideal. I think it's waterproof too, so absolutely brilliant. And then finally, the moment you've all been waiting for, you want to know what seeds I'm going to be sowing. So here we go. Right then, the main plants that you want to get sown in January are things like your peppers and your chilies. And I've gone for a few different varieties this time. I took inspiration from Jim, Down to Earth with Jim, from his allotment channel. The link is in the description below if you do want to follow him. But last year he grew the greatest peppers. He had so many. I think he's still got them now. He froze them over the winter and he's still eating them. He got that many. I've never really grown peppers before. I've tried them. I haven't normally done too well. So I'm going to put a lot of effort into them this time. And I want that same glut that Jim had. I want to get as many peppers as he had. And they're great to just take off the plant, chop them up and just eat them raw or throw them in a salad or a curry or whatever you want to do. I'm going to do the peppers. I don't really like the green peppers. I like the red, the orange and the yellow. So I'm going to be focusing on them more than anything and try and work out how I just grow them. So the first ones I'm going to do is the California Wonder. And hopefully you can just see that there. That's the bottom ones. And there is the yellow and red peppers there. After doing a bit of research, the California pepper does seem to be a very reliable crop, giving you plenty. So it's a classic bell pepper variety, producing large, blocky, green to red fruits, sweet, crisp, and perfect for salads, stuffing, or cooking. So these look great, and it does actually say we can start sowing them now from January time, and then we'll put them outside around about May. I never put anything out really until that first frost has passed, and that's generally in the UK, in the northwest of the UK, around about the second week of May. Obviously, if you're planted inside a polytunnel or a greenhouse, then you can bring them out earlier. So we're going to start with the California Wonder. Then above there is the sweet banana. Now, they do look a bit more like a chili. You can see that. Sweet banana is a prolific pepper plant producing long, tapered yellow fruits with a sweet flavour. Interesting, because on the picture they're red. So that's going to be interesting to see what comes out, but they're called the sweet banana pepper. After that, we've got two more types of pepper, which is a bit similar to those sweet bananas, actually, and they're called the lunchbox red and orange. I've got a feeling these are going to be very sweet. Lunchbox red sweet pepper seeds are a garden treasure for those who appreciate both flavour and convenience. These seeds produce small, vibrant red peppers that are not only visually appealing, but also burst with sweet and satisfying taste. One plant can produce over 100 fruits throughout the growing season. So that's good. I'm not sure if you get some red, some orange, or they go orange before becoming red, or vice versa, and you just pick them when you're ready. Quite small, but very sweet and juicy. Again, says that's absolutely fine to sow from January, hence why I'm starting them. And then finally, I've got my cayenne peppers. I did these last year. Hopefully you can see them on screen now from when I filmed them. Got an absolute ton of nice elongated red peppers. Really didn't give them much care and attention. Put them in some small pots, watered them once a week, and they still produced tons of nice red peppers. They start off green and they go red the longer you leave them. So these are hot and spicy, long, thin pepper that can grow to approximately 10 centimeters in length. They turn from a milder green to a hot, peppery, flavored red. Again, perfectly fine to be sowing now in January. So there will be many more seeds. If you can see my box of seeds here, we've got absolutely all kinds, from our courgettes to there's flowers in there, there's pumpkins, there's cucamelons that did fantastic last year. So these will all be coming next. But generally, rule of thumb, I don't sow most of my seeds until about mid-March. I'll probably do some in February and then some in March. And then that just gives a good 2 months, 6 weeks before they're ready to plant out. Again, depends what they are. So if you do want to know what I'm going to be planting, when I'm going to be planting it, and maybe pick up some little tips along the way, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Right, let's jump straight in. The main bit, how do we sow these seeds? I'm just going to show you dead quick how to do a few, and obviously that same pattern is rinse and repeat. So let's get this going. Okay, so there's 20 of these little compartments, these little pots, plugs, whatever we call them, per each of these trays. So I'm going to split them. So we're going to have, so there's 40 altogether with the 2 trays. And I'm going to do about 10 of each, although I might change it slightly. I might only do 5 of them, and then maybe 10, 10, and 10. Anyway, we'll see how we get on. See how this goes. But I do want plenty. As I say, I want lots of peppers at least this year. So I'm going to do loads. And also, they don't all germinate. So it's good to have a good germination rate. So plant them all, and hopefully out of all them, we'll get enough plants. So first things first, we've opened the bag of compost. And inside, it's perfect consistency, but hopefully you can see that it's really gritty, drains well, and nice and fluffy. So seeds are going to germinate really well in this. And I'm literally just going to go around. I'm going to fill all of these up. There's a few little, feels like a few little clumpy bits. So I'm going to try and crush that as I'm putting it into the pots. As you can see, I've put the newspapers out on the table, so I can't make too much mess. That's the idea anyway. All right, here they are, all nice and filled up. They are slightly firm down, but not too much, just so it's quite compact and stays in the compartment itself. And then I'll just be able to pop each seed in there. So I'll just show you how I do that now. Okay, I've decided I'm doing 10, 10, 10 and 10, keep it nice and simple. So I'm going to start with the cayenne hot peppers. I opened the pack just to make sure I did have enough seeds. I do. I'm just going to show you what these look like. Not the biggest, not the smallest seeds. Hopefully you can see them. So we've got plenty in there. As I say, I only need 10. A lot of people will sow multiple seeds per plug compartment. I like to do one per plug. So because I'm doing 10, as long as 50% germinate, I've got 5 plants. I'm happy with that. And it saves me then having to separate them and split them and divide them later on once they start growing and all the roots get entangled. I can basically just have one plant per plug tray or plug compartment that I then lift into a bigger pot. So I'm more than happy with that. So I've just put too many on my hand there. Let's just get started. So these are the hot cayenne peppers, and it's simply what I tend to do is I'll just pop one seed in each of these, just in the middle, and I don't push them down until they're all in position, and I've done them all. Otherwise, I quickly forget which ones I've done and which ones I haven't done. So literally picking random 10 seeds. Pop the others back in there. There we go. And then all I do is push them down, possibly about 2 centimeters below the surface, and then backfill on top of it. And it's literally just go around doing that to each one. Here's one. So just push it in with your finger, firm around it. And it is simple as that. 2 centimeters down underneath the soil, perfectly fine. So you just want to make sure each seed is touching nice and got that connection with the soil, with the compost, and push them down each time just beneath the soil. And oh, there we go. There's the last one. They are all done. Like I said before, you've really got to mark these, otherwise you'll forget them. So these are the hot, I'm just going to put cayenne pepper. There's my cayennes, and as you see, there they are. First row done, they're all in there nicely and marked up, so I know that whole row is going to be my cayenne peppers. So I just need to rinse and repeat. I've got as I say, the sweet pepper, and there is only 10 seeds in there. There's 10 seeds of each. Okay, well, I don't know if they're going to be separate packages or what, but I'll do 5 of each if I can tell the difference. Otherwise, it'll be a gamble. I might get some red and some orange. Then I'll do the sweet banana. There is 10 of them, and there's 20 of these California Wonders. Again, I think it'll just be a bit of pot luck, depending on what colour you get. I'm hoping for the yellows and the reds. Okay, that's all 4 sets of seeds now sown in, 10 of each. I've got the 3 different varieties of pepper, and then the hot cayenne pepper chilies. So last thing to do is literally, I always get a jug of water. Some people like to use a mister, but to begin with, I like to just water each one in. So just making sure each of these is nice and wet, and that helps the seed get the nice contact with the compost. You may notice some of the seeds will come to the surface as you water them in. If they do, just again poke them down now, and before long they'll start to germinate. Because both are chilies and pepper variety, they'll take about 3 weeks to germinate, depending on what kind of weather we get. Okay, and then we just put the lids on, and this is how it just becomes a mini little greenhouse. As so, I'll keep them nice and warm and humid inside. That will really help the germination rate. So I'm going to place them in front of this window, which gets the sun for most of the day. especially this time of year when the sun coming through the glass will really be quite warm. And I'm going to place inside this grow bag tray. This stops any kind of leakage, but again, will just protect my floor and keep them out of the way. So let's pop them on. There we go, in their new little home next to my nice big healthy looking banana plant. There's the first seeds of this year sown. As I say, 1 lot of hot cayenne peppers, chilies, and 3 lots of different varieties of sweet pepper chilies. And we'll see how we get on. Let's hope we get some good luck and a nice growing season. So thanks for watching, everyone. Hopefully you've taken some tips from this. Maybe it's just giving you that little push you need to get some seeds sown now. Remember, January is coming to a close and things like peppers and chilies need that little bit longer just to germinate. So if you've taken something from it, please give me a big like, share it with your friends, leave me a comment, and subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you on the next one. Thanks, everyone. Please take care. Bye now.